For those of us who've been playing a lot of our PC games on our Steam Decks or other portable PCs with SteamOS installed on them, I'm sure you have come in contact with the myriad of plugins and such that you can install through a bit of software called Decky. And one of the more popular plugins that you can install through Decky is called CSS Loader. CSS Loader is themes, basically, for your Steam Deck. They are overall themes that you can make your Steam Deck look like a Wii, you can make it look like Persona 5, but there's also smaller tweaks to just improve the experience, like removing things like live broadcasts on the Steam store page, moving around the icons just to make it easier to look at when you're just scrolling through all your games, all that fun stuff. If this is something that you've come to really enjoy on your portable experience and wish that you could have it in your big picture experience on desktop, as well as the windowed Steam client experience, luckily CSS Loader devs have been moving all of that stuff over to the Windows desktop experience slowly. And today I'm gonna show you how to install it, as well as give you some suggestions on little tweaks and stuff like that that I've used to make not only my Steam big picture experience the best for me, but also my Steam windowed experience just a little cleaner and easier to navigate. Let's get started. We are going to get started with installing CSS Loader for Windows. The first thing we wanna do is we want to open up our settings, and we're gonna come up here to the search bar, and we're gonna search for Use Developer Features. We're gonna turn on developer mode. That's all you need to do, but alternatively, just another Windows tip, I like to turn on End Task right here. This lets you end any task or application similar to how you would in like Mac without having to go to Task Manager just by right-clicking on it in your taskbar. So that's just an extra little tip for you right there. But once we've got developer mode turned on, we're gonna open up our web browser of choice and we're gonna go to deckthemes.com. We're gonna click download for Windows. We're gonna click this GitHub link right here. We want to download the MSI right here. Once it has downloaded, you can just open that up in your file explorer. Right here, I'm gonna double click on it, and it's going to tell you that Windows has protected your PC. It is not protecting it from anything. This is just an unrecognized developer. So we're gonna click that more info right there and then click run anyway. It's going to ask where we would like to install it. I'm just gonna leave it default and we're gonna click install. I'm going to say launch CSS Loader, click finish. And we now have CSS Loader right here. With this being an early application, I'm going to just warn you, it's a little unresponsive sometimes, at least in my experience. Now, the first thing I'm gonna have you do is go down here in the main themes tab to selected profile. I would make a new profile, name it whatever you want. I'm just gonna name it themed. Well, that's what I would do if it worked. Okay, so if you are in here and you tried to create a new profile and nothing worked right after you installed it, I'm gonna show you what to do. First, come in here, close Steam. Next, open up this little guy over here. This is your CSS Loader. Right click on it and click exit. And we're gonna open up CSS Loader one more time. This time it's going to give us an animation and just say some goofy things down there. And once it gets loading for a little bit, I've noticed this button comes up for force restart backend. I usually let it go a little longer. If nothing shows up after like a minute or two, I do click force restart backend. Okay, I'm now going to show you how to look for and find your own themes. So we're gonna click store here. Now we've got two sections. Desktop right here is going to adjust the standard Steam client in desktop mode. I'm gonna bring mine over here just for a second. So it's gonna adjust all of this right here. If you scroll down a little bit, big picture mode is going to adjust, obviously, big picture mode, as well as if you use Steam Link on any other devices. These are basically taken right over from the Steam Deck. So a lot of these themes in the big picture mode are actually not gonna be helpful for us on desktop. And I will go over that when I click this view more right here. But let's go over some of the traditional desktop ones. There are fewer things to select from here, but there are still some really good ones that we can play around with. Okay, so I'm gonna click show filters and I would set it to most downloaded. For now, we're just gonna look at some previews. This one right here is pretty simple. It allows you to just put a custom gradient on your main window for Steam. This is one that I do use. This rounds out the icons or the little cards for your games in the library window. Prominent store prices. Okay, so this is getting into something I really like about CSS Loader. You can adjust how the store page works, which is great because Steam's store is a little rough sometimes. Main window image. This is changes like the background of your library right there. So there's a lot of tiny ones, but there's some things that are just little tweaks that I think improve the overall Steam experience so much. Like for example, no news section. As you can see, this is installed. It removes the recent news up at the top of your library. You can remove the new to library, which if you are like me and you are in a family plan, then you don't need this tab on every game that you're not even going to play. This right here, I do have installed. This is the little notification that asks you to leave a review. You can turn that off. So desktop for right now is mostly just tweaks to get it to be how you would like it to be. Big picture mode, on the other hand, this is where things start to get a little fun. And this, like I said, is exactly from the Steamdeck. So that's a big reason why there's so much more here. Again, there's stuff like just rounding out your corners. And I'm not going to spend as much time looking at these because not everything is going to carry over from the Steamdeck. Like there's some that bring over UI from other handhelds, stuff like that, and volume bar stuff. Like that's not going to carry over here. But there are some really fun ones if you keep scrolling. Like you can make your big picture mode look like the Wii. Phantom right here. This makes your big picture look like Persona 5 UI. You can, very similarly to the desktop one, just remove things that are kind of annoying to you. You can change avatar status, how that looks, all sorts of stuff. There's even custom keyboards that you can use. But now that you've seen what it looks like to look through them, and that all you have to do is click install right here, I'm going to show you how to adjust your themes. There are options for some of these. Like better game badges is for big picture. I can come in here and adjust what those better badges are. Or in the desktop mode, the rounded games that I got, you can choose how much you want to round out those corners. No game count. When you're in a family plan, it shows you how many of the family members own the game. You can turn that off. No news section. This is one that is definitely worth tinkering with because if you open up theme settings, you can remove add shelf, which is a little link that'll show up at the top after you remove the news section. So that just makes it even more clean. So now that I've added all this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and click X and I'm going to open up Steam really quick. And as you can see, my Steam has been adjusted. One of the things I did is I removed the download bar from down here and I just moved it up here. So my download queue is up here, my friends are right here, and add non-Steam game, that kind of stuff, up here. All my games are slightly rounded out. I have removed the news section up here at the top, and also the add shelf. So now you can just see your recent games. All my games are rounded, it looks nice. And if I go to the Steam store and click through a game in here, it's hard to tell because I've removed it, but if there was a live stream going on right now, all of that stuff has been taken out. So as you can see, my tweaks on the desktop client are mostly just to kind of clean it up, make it look a little bit nicer. When we go into big picture mode is where things get a little more interesting. So they're still rounded out. I have switch like home menu, so it does this kind of artwork up here and it's moved things down over here. Rounding things out has also rounded out some of the buttons in here, as well as the menus in right here. That is CSS Loader on Windows. So if you are using it just so that you can get your big picture and Steam Link unified with your Steamdeck and make that experience a bit more enjoyable and linked there, or you just want to clean up the desktop client and Steam a little bit more, either works. Hopefully that all made sense and you were able to get CSS Loader installed on your Windows PC. Like I said, this is pretty early on and the themes are pretty community dependent. So as more people start using this, more and more themes will start popping up that you're able to take advantage of and install on your Steam client. This is definitely something that seems to be a bit more of a secondary focus for the CSS Loader devs. They're definitely more focused on the portable PC setup and all that fun stuff. That seems to be where most people are trying to customize their stuff, but I enjoy having it on Windows, and hopefully some of the things like being able to remove the news section in your game view or even just change the color of your Steam was helpful and seems like something that would be fun to play around with. So If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you had a hard time with anything and would like me to clarify some things for you, leave a comment down below and I'll see if I can help you out. But yeah, stick around for some more gaming content and I will see you next time.